Welcome to the short video that's going to discuss a little bit about using these whiteboards, how I use them, and specifically try to encourage you to use the desktop app. So I'm in the desktop app right now. I'll show you also what's going on with the web app and some of the differences to just, not just encourage you, but sometimes you might not be able to get the desktop app to work. I mean, maybe it just stops working for some reason. There's always weird glitches that can happen, or maybe you're on a computer that doesn't have it. So I'll just say how to make the best of it using the web app. So the first thing when you open the desktop app to have happen, if you're getting weird messages about not being on the network, then check in this upper right, check which account you have. So it says sign out or switch accounts. I'm in my troy.butler at ucdenver.edu account. This is the work or school account. You need to have your UC Denver account signed in here to have access to it, not just some default Microsoft Hotmail account. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to access the links or open up the whiteboards I made for you in the app, because they can only be shared with people that are signed in with their UC Denver credentials. So as long as you have that, then any link I share with you for a whiteboard, you should be able to open up, right? And you can see all the different whiteboards here that I've created so far for like the first week. So there's already quite a few. But then you can create a new whiteboard for yourself, start practicing editing around with it. I'm going to show you something here, just opening a new one. And I want to just point out, here's all these different default pen color options that are here. And if I select any one, notice there's this dot above each one. You can set a pen thickness for each color. So maybe I want like the green for some reason to be really large, and I want the blue to be, let's say, really small, like a really thin, really fine point. So then if I just choose the blue and I start writing, and note, I point out the zoom. I always try to do this college rule just to make things small. On the desktop app, when I zoom in, I'm doing this with just gestures to zoom in and out with finger kind of pinching on a trackpad because I'm on a laptop. You would use a scrolling wheel or some other option if you're probably on a desktop computer. So, but that percentage, by the way, that it's showing like 100%, 77% right there as I zoom in and out. The desktop app shows you that. But if I go to the web app, right, which looks, the setup in this web app looks very similar. I get there usually through my email, just selecting, the different apps that are available here. So I usually through Outlook, I sign into my email online on the web browser, then I usually choose the whiteboard. But notice there's just 4 pins, which is fine, these different colors, but there's no pin thickness to choose from. And it's like as soon as you select it, like your mouse is basically a thing you can draw with, but instead of like a smart pen. And if you erase, notice as soon as you touch anything, like a full line, I'll just show that again. Look what happens when I erase. I just even touch it, the whole thing's gone. And to navigate, I move it here. And then I usually use the left and right arrows to navigate. So just so you can see this, and this is in the web app. So I'm now going to press the right and left arrows after I select movement and I click on some empty space. Here's the right directional arrow on my keyboard, the left directional arrow on my keyboard. It moves things around, up, down, and I can zoom in and out with shift up and shift down. Here's shift up, shift down. But notice you don't see any percentages to say the level of zoom. You don't really need to know that. You just need to figure out for yourself kind of about what width of lines do you need for your handwriting to start looking good. So when I come back over here in the desktop app, I just want to show when I go to use the eraser, I have a smart pen, I have a surface pen. I do not need to select the eraser component. I can leave it on a pen because it's an active pen. If you don't have a smart pen, you might have to do that, and then it's just your mouse serves as the eraser. But I just want to show you when I go to erase, I guess I'll just go ahead and do this so that it's clear. Look at the target, like how targeted it is for erasing. I can erase sections of an object, and it doesn't erase the whole thing. So erasing, I think, is better on the desktop app than the web app, along with all these other options in terms of choosing these default pen thicknesses. So again, like here's this thick green line, and then when I switch to the blue, it's very thin or fine. This purple or pinkish line is thicker as well, and the black line is more of a normal. That's the second one I feel like is the right one for most writing. I think if you use that one and you're zoomed in at kind of a level that you're comfortable with for writing, it works out. Another option to look at, I can undo, look at the bottom of the screen here, undo or redo in the desktop app. Hotkeys also work. If I press Control Z, that's what I was doing there. That's undo. That's the same thing as just like clicking that undo button multiple times. The hotkey for undo, Control Z, Control Y is redo, so I can put things back in there. That's this option. On the web app, I'll switch to that. I'll press Control Z. Nothing's happening. Control Y, nothing's happening. I go, what's going on? Um, it's just not as many features. It doesn't work as well. So, okay, there's some of those changes. If you're having trouble with handwriting, you can add text. I press the add text button here, but you can also right click anywhere and just say, choose this, add text. This is in the desktop app. And when you choose the text, so let me do it again. So I'll just add text. I can, let MD be a metric space. Notice how it's just sizing it to what I want. And then I can, we prove something about D, right? And it's just kind of moving things around as I do it. I can then grab that whole box, just click, move it over here, and look at that. It's in purple. I think I just have that color chosen. I can change the text color. I could make it red, do whatever I want. I recommend when you have groups, there are usually 3 or 4, each person pick a color. Black, red, blue, green, just to distinguish who's writing what. And if you're having trouble with the handwriting, if it's not showing up so well, so for me with the Surface and the pen, it works pretty well. I could have written, so I could zoom in. I like to zoom in a lot when I'm writing to make my handwriting look better. Let MD, I can zoom out a little bit even there. Yeah, you got to find kind of the right level for you for what your handwriting is. Be a metric space. Right, I type faster than I write, so I might even want to start writing or typing more. We prove whatever. I'm going to stop there. Now I want to show you something. If I go to the web app, let's see. So it's not refreshing here. If that starts working, probably what happens is I need to go out, come back in, and then it's refreshed. Like it didn't sync right for some reason. Give it a second, it opens up. There you go. So there can be some weird, maybe syncing issues that can occasionally come up. It seems like more with the web app than the desktop app. But see, now everything's here. Now look what happens when I choose the eraser and I select over here. I select space, right? It just starts erasing everything like we know. But I can't erase text, right? Look at that. I can't. There's just no way for me to do it. What about in this app, the desktop app? See, metric space, that's gone because that was, I have ink to shape, by the way, on. That's why that made it kind of like a perfect looking oval. That's gone because I erased it in the web app. Right now it's syncing a little better. And you can't erase a shape. You can't erase a shape. You can't erase text. So I can't erase. Oh. Now you can move them. You can select it, and then you can move an object around and suggest where it wants to snap it. That's fine. Same thing with text. I can move text around, and I can resize text. But I can't erase text. This is in the desktop app that I'm in now. So what if I wanted to edit text? Well, you just double click inside the text area to get, see now the cursor's flashing in there, and then I can also resize and I can choose options. So I can make it so that it's not as wide. If I didn't want it to just be this huge thing, I could just kind of make it so the space is what it is. And it wants to size the horizontal, and then it just auto sizes for, more text down here, more here. So I could do something like this and say, now like there's this stuff that's written over it. So maybe I want to move it down. So I'll scroll down here, move this text here. And then when I go to the web app, right, I just see it's like already there. I have to select moving, or I could just do the directional arrows after I select somewhere. Okay, now I'll do the directional arrows up and down. Here's this text. I can edit it. See, I can delete the text box, but you have to click delete to edit it, so to remove it. But if I also click in there in the web app, I can also add text from the web app. But I could also add my own text by clicking anywhere. I could add a text box that will open it somewhere. Or I could right click somewhere and have the option of putting note or text, and it will start it. But look at this text font. It is always black on the web app. But if I edit something where the text was chosen a different color because it was on the desktop app, this color is red on the web app because it was chosen to be red on the desktop app. And if I go look on the desktop app though, I have the option of editing a text box and saying, okay, I can select it, and then I can change the color. I can make it purple, which was kind of the default that I had. I can make it green, right? I could do whatever I want. I can edit the text, but you can also double click in it. You can like the text, and you can also copy it and paste it somewhere else or delete it. There's all these different options. There's cut, immersive reader, there's the desktop app just has all these options. So that's what you can do. Like when you're adding text, it's there. It's a little maybe better for everyone to contribute typing. So maybe we start doing that if people are having trouble with the handwriting, and then maybe just use the handwriting to add markups, because you can mark up stuff over text. So here, I'll erase this. I'm on the desktop app here, but maybe someone wants to point out, like, look, this metric space you're talking about, and then maybe the ink to shape's there, but I can then delete that. It leaves the text there, and then you can start highlighting each other's work, saying, hey, what about what you did over, I'm making a freaking mess here. But you could say, what are you doing here? Why did you say this was a metric space? Huh? I want you to answer that. So you could do stuff like this, and then when you erase it, after somebody answers a question, you talk it out. It's not going to mess with the text that's all over here, right? I'm just erasing over it. I can just kind of erase everything here, but the text stays. Moreover, with the desktop app, and you can also do that, by the way, on the web app. So I can show, like, on the web app, and I say, hey, I select the drawing. Why did you talk about a metric space? I want to know what's going on in this class. And then when you go to erase it, it's great. It leaves this text, right? You can't erase the text. So I would say text is maybe the way to go, and then marking up over text. But then I also wanted to show, like, if I'm in any kind of environment where I can grab some things. I'm going to go to the snip and text tool. I'm going to take something from a PDF, and I'm going to say, maybe I wanted to put this. There we go. I'm going to copy that. So now it's on my clipboard. Now I cannot paste that into the web app. The web app has no option to paste and insert, like, objects from your clipboard or other pages. I can click kind of on anywhere on the web app, and I can select copy, right? Or excuse me, paste. I've already copied it. Or I could just use my cursor, go somewhere, and I could just say click there, and then I could press Control V, right? Control V for paste. Look, and then just paste it kind of somewhere. Again, you can move it. Someone can like it. They can have all these different kind of crazy things here. Ink grab. I don't know what that does, but you can make it larger, size it. These are all options within the desktop app. Here, I can select it, but I can move it in the web app. I can't resize it. So you can't insert. You can't do like a paste of anything, and you can't resize things in that web app. So again, desktop app wins. It's better. It's more convenient. And then also look at this option. You can lock it to the background. Now it's there, and you can basically not worry about moving it. Just like with other text too, you can't erase it. It's there. You can mark up all over it, erase it. So I think what I'll start doing is I'll start trying to take more text, things, if it's stuff I'm not writing, I'll try to use text and then just put it into the background whenever possible, so that it kind of just anchors things. You don't have to worry about these backgrounds. I was trying to do these, rectangles around things to give you structure about where things should be. But I guess if I can just go ahead and put text, if I type it up ahead of time and put it in there, I might not always be able to do that, but when I can, I will. And I'll put it as part of the background. That way you don't have to worry about it. And then it's there. You can't get rid of it. Now I could undo. I could just go through Control Z, undo a whole bunch of things until I unlock it. So I can do that, but whoever adds that, they're the only ones that can make it so they unlock it by repeatedly going to undo. So that's kind of it for now. There's a lot more options as well. Like if you right click anywhere, you can insert images. You could add, you can do the notes in the text. You can add PDF pages. There's all sorts of options. Clear canvas, maybe don't do that. That'll delete everything. So I'll show you that. Yeah, everything's gone. But if you did that and you're in the web, in the desktop app, guess what? Control Z, bring it all back. But you kind of were deliberately clearing everything. So maybe don't do that. That's kind of a jerk move. But otherwise, that's kind of it for the use. I think, hopefully this video has convinced you to get the desktop app. If you can't, it's with the web app, I would recommend doing more text typing to share things and to mark up over text, because I'll switch over to the desktop app again, just to make this point. As you mark things, oops, see, I'm on the move thing. You have to always watch that move stuff. Select the pen. If I want to mark up what somebody's did and said again, like, what are you talking about with a metric space? And then you get your question answered. You're talking with your group. You're interacting with what they're writing, but you're not changing it. Now I can't erase it for some reason. Again, web app can sometimes get glitchy. I exit. I open it back up. Let it load. Might take a second. I think it just, yeah. See, web app. What a strange app it is. Oh, wait, here it is. I just scrolled down. I had to scroll down. There we go. So now I go to do my erasing, and there, I can erase like my whole things. But again, like an object, like an inked object, I can't even select this. Oh, I have to do the select tool if I want to select like a whole object, and I can delete. So anyways, text, you can delete and move it, but you have to select it and then press the delete button, or I think probably delete key on your keyboard. Let's try it. Yep, delete key. And look, no undo. I'm in the web app, can't undo it. So desktop app is where you want to be. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks for listening. I'll end this here, and we'll start discussions about what's working and just keep refining this workflow we have for the class.